click subscribe, you are quietly making a forecast. You picture keeping this thing, the community, the membership, the streaming app, for a good long while. The receipts say otherwise. Across creator subscriptions, communities, and streaming, the typical member cancels far sooner than they expect, and one simple equation predicts almost exactly when. So we pulled the data on how long subscriptions actually last. Start with the one piece of math the whole investigation rests on. If a subscription business loses a steady share of its members every month, its churn rate, then the average member's lifetime is just 1 divided by that churn rate. It is a standard result, used across subscription and software finance, and the logic is clean. Hell, lose 5% of members a month, and the average member sticks around for 20 months. Lose 10% a month, and the average lifetime is just 10 months. The relationship is brutal and non-negotiable. A churn rate that sounds tiny in a sentence, 5%, 6%, quietly sets a hard ceiling on how long the typical subscriber stays. So the entire question of how long subscriptions last collapses into a single number we can actually go measure. What is the real monthly churn? Now the real numbers. Recurly, a subscription billing platform, published churn benchmarks across thousands of businesses. Their overall average monthly churn lands around 3.3%. But the average hides everything that matters because churn splits hard by category. Software and business services sit near 3.8% a month, the sticky end. Consumer goods, education, and the category that covers most creator and entertainment subscriptions, digital media and entertainment, run around 6.5% a month. Plug that 6.5% into the equation. 1 divided by 0.065 gives an average subscriber lifetime of about 15 months. Not years, roughly 15 months. And remember, that is the average across an entire category, which means a very large share of those subscribers are gone well before they hit the 1-year mark. Streaming is the cleanest test case because the data is large and recent. The research firm Antenna tracks premium streaming in the United States. Their 2025 figures put the weighted average monthly churn for premium streaming services at about 4.6%. And that is the so-called good news, a number that finally stabilized after years of climbing. Even at that relatively healthy 4.6%, the equation gives an average subscriber lifetime of only about 22 months. And that is the easy mode of the subscription world. Enormous catalogs, low monthly prices, billion-dollar retention teams, and the constant churn and return habit where people leave for a few months and come back for one new show. If the most professionalized subscriptions on Earth average under 2 years of tenure, the smaller, pricier, single creator subscription is not going to beat them. I'll drop down to the part of the market this channel covers: creator memberships and paid communities. Here the churn runs hotter and the numbers get uncomfortable. Practitioner data on paid communities puts a healthy membership at around 2.5% to 5% monthly churn, but the typical community runs 5 to 10% a month, which, as the operators themselves put it, means replacing roughly half your members every 6 to 12 months. On Patreon specifically, the picture is starker still. Platform representatives have said the average patron's retention is measured in just a couple of months, and a large share of patrons cancel before they ever reach the 6-month mark. That is the gap between the pitch and the receipts. The membership is sold as a relationship you settle into. For a big slice of buyers, it functions as a short trial they forgot to frame as one. Averages flatten a story that is actually front-loaded, so watch the curve instead. Subscription cancellation is heaviest right at the start and thins out over time because the people who were going to bail early. Take a community running a fairly ordinary 8% monthly churn and follow 100 signups. By the end of month 1, you are down to about 92. By month 3, you are near 78. By month 6, you have lost about 40% of the original cohort. Only around 60 remain. By month 12, fewer than 40 of the original 100 are still paying. The members who survive that first half year do tend to stick, which is exactly why averages look kinder than the early experience feels. But the median buyer's relationship with the subscription is decided in the opening months, not the loyal tail. This same number reads 2 completely different ways depending on which side of the checkout you are on. For the buyer, it is a warning about your own forecast. You almost certainly overestimate how long you will stay subscribed. The data says the typical creator subscription lasts on the order of a year, not the multi-year run you imagine when you click join. For the operator, the same churn rate is the quiet truth behind the recurring revenue dream. Recurring revenue is sold as money that just keeps arriving. But at 6 to 8% monthly churn, an operator has to refill a leaking bucket, replacing 40 to 60% of the entire member base every single year just to stay flat. The promise of subscriptions on both sides runs straight into the same arithmetic. It is far easier to acquire a member than to keep one, and the keeping is where almost everyone's projections quietly break. So here is where the receipts land. Treat any monthly subscription as a roughly 12 to 20-month commitment by default, not an open-ended one, because that is what the category averages actually deliver, and your own optimism is the least reliable number in the equation. Before you subscribe, run the honest version. Take the monthly price, multiply by 12, and ask whether you would pay that full sticker up front today. If the answer is no, the monthly framing is doing the selling, not the value. And if you are the one charging for a subscription, build your plan on the churn number, not the head count, because the members are not an asset you own, they are an audience you re-earn every month. Whichever side of the receipt you are on, the duration is the whole story. And the duration is almost always shorter than it feels.